Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise is brought to you in partnership with Drive Media and Consulting and their premier sponsors. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platforms and share. If you just found us, welcome. And if you're a regular, welcome back. Denise DiGrigoli has spent her life in the creative industries as an entrepreneur, helping people transform their visions into thriving businesses, working with individuals and teams to find their purpose and live their life vibrantly. On her pod, Denise delivers business intel and life hacks with wit and wisdom in short shots like a strong espresso with a solid sense of humor. Enjoy this episode of Mav's Coffee Clarity, and here's Mav.
Hi there, my friends. You're on Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise. Every week, we spill the beans with ideas, business intel, and life hacks to move you forward in work, love, and life. Stories of resiliency, triumph, tribulation, fiascos, and the silver linings. Stories that just give us inspiration and new ideas and fresh perspectives. I do this by interviewing some of the most fascinating people in the world. And on the alternative weeks, it's me, just giving you a short shot of some maverick wisdom. I believe like everybody's been a maverick, whether it's for a minute, a moment, or a lifetime. And we all have good ideas to share. So I've been filming live this week in the Berkshires, southern Berkshires of Massachusetts, in my creative cottage. I just love it here. You know, color, texture, so many things that inspire me. And I was thinking about Independence Day. Had a great 4th of July with family and friends. Good friend of mine got married. I enjoyed Umpachini Falls, you know, this really cool river rock mountain that you can climb up with natural waterfalls. So many great things. And so no matter how you spent your 4th of July, we celebrated the independence of our country. And I thought about our freedoms. This is not a political show in any way. But I thought about our personal freedoms and what we do to use them and what we do to squelch them. So when I was growing up, I was asthmatic as a child, as a very, very young child. And as a result, you know, anytime I'd go outside to play, I would have an asthma attack. And of course, I had caring family members that were like, she can't play outside. You know, she's going to have an asthma attack and land back in the hospital. So unfortunately, that freedom, good, bad, or indifferent, was taken away. But the point was it created the bird in the bird cage, right? When I was able to and had outgrown asthma and allergies around 9 or 10, I never let the bird fly out of the cage. I was afraid. And then I also felt behind. So it kind of snowballed. And I was known as the creative person in my family, obviously the very talkative one, but not the athletic one. And that came with reduced liberties, whether they were self-imposed or from, you know, my peers in the community. No one wanted to pick me. I wasn't the first on the kickball team. And so, yes, I dove into art. And, you know, here in the Berkshires, when you grow up here, I grew up here, returning here after so many years away, there's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of artists, and just as academics were prioritized in our high school, so were art and sports. So I went down the art track and I loved it. I mean, I come from a family of seamstress, hair cutters, you know, carpenters, even shoemakers, gardeners. Anyways, I really enjoyed that facet because it was also stress relieving and it allowed you to explore. But when it came time to go to college, I was wanting to go to an art school, which I got accepted to a great creative college in the city. And just as I was putting my toe in that water, making those so-called final decisions, I squelched my liberty again because I listened to those external voices that said, you know, artists starve. Why are you going to do that? Why are you going to do that? Go into business. You can always be an artist. Well, hey, that's true. But, and yet, let's change those words, but and yet, right? Yet always builds a bridge. I feel like but cuts us. Yet, I made a decision at the very last moment to go for a marketing degree, actually a buying degree and then a marketing degree. And yes, I spend much of my time in strategic marketing and communications, and there's certainly layers of creativity there. But I always missed painting and drawing and mixed media. I used to sew by eye, and I'm a big upcycler. Growing up in the family I grew up in, we were constantly repurposing and recycling and upcycling. As a matter of fact, before I went to college, I had a small little store. We called it Punk and Junk on my grandmother's business property. And I'd go to like Goodwill and Salvation Army, and I'd pull together all types of clothes and deconstruct them and reconstruct them and make outfits. Again, creative problem solving. I use it in marketing. We use it in we use it in all aspects of our life, right? So I had this cute little shop before college, and I had vintage clothes and jewelry and things I reconstructed. Then I went off to a very creative design school in New York and got a marketing degree. And it always felt like a displaced duck. And so being back here in the Berkshires, we have a couple creative art studios happening. I tried my hand at mixed media. And there's a lot of vulnerability that comes with that when you haven't done it for a long time. And we have an art restoration business. I know many of you know that. And by the way, if you're new to the show, hey, welcome. And if you're a regular listener, thanks and welcome back. But many of you know we have an art restoration business. So we've seen some of the most mundane art to the finest art to the most sentimental art to the most priceless art. So again, that little voice that limits your freedom says, who are you to try art now? You'll never fit in. You're not on the dodgeball team. And, I always tell my daughter, you're the sum of your 5 best friends and what's going on with them there. So yes, the company you keep and who influences you. Are they pointing you out saying, hey, you're chubby and stubby and we don't want you on the team? Or are they saying, you know what, let's give it a try? Well, I've got some great friends and of course a fabulous spouse that said, hey, give it a try. Now, I repurpose sort of the produce that my avocados come in, or the lemons or limes, those little netting bags, because I can't fathom the idea of them getting into the ocean or the landfill. Because we have to burn plastic, of course, to get rid of it, or it gets stuck around the sea turtle's neck, and you know what happens there. So, and I also just keep things that are inspiring to me or things that can be repurposed into other things. So you will see at the tail end of this video, and I know we're a podcast, but we do put ourselves up on YouTube, the progression of this mixed media piece. And it's called A Life Well Lived, Abundantly and Messy, because it's always messy, right? You take a left road and there might be an obstacle and you need to take the right road. And I'm a firm believer that none of us are broken. We're wherever we need to be, and we're learning, and hopefully we're growing, but hopefully we're not squelching our freedoms. And if we have, then my maverick wisdom for this week is, hey, give it a try. Be curious, be a lifelong learner. Who cares if it isn't perfect? Who cares if it isn't a Rembrandt, or if you're a baker or a chef, the finest recipe like Wolfgang Puck or whoever you aspire to be like or, are influenced by. The one thing that I thought about when I was working on this piece was how crazy it was. It uses some of the oil painting palettes that are, we're going to hit the garbage from my husband's art restoration projects. It's got netting from those bags. It's got things I collected like chance cards from a Monopoly game and dice and pieces of paper that have been note written on, and like a pick from a guitar, strumming session. It's even got a couple of bullet casings. Not that I own a gun, but I got them from my friend who's a marksman. And it tells a story. My mixed media pieces, and I've just started venturing out into this kind of world, tell a story about where I've come from and where I'm going. So Life Well Lived, Abundantly and Messy is about, just living wherever you are, your best life and the most vibrant life. Well, how can you do that? Well, we've got a few guests that are coming on talking about their fiascos and their growth and their transformation. And the common denominator is just show up, be you, trust yourself, and commit to yourself. And I think that's really important on the heels of 4th of July and Independence Day, right? We have freedom of speech, which is incredible, freedom of creative expression, freedom to change our minds, freedom to help somebody else out, freedom to help ourselves out, freedom, and freedom to make art, whether it's perfect or not. So, on the heels of 4th of July, family, friends, and all the things that it may mean to you or may not, I hope you give yourself the freedom to try something new and also the freedom not to judge yourself or others and to live in whatever aspect is vibrantly colorful for you. Live it, my friends, live it. I'd love to hear what you think. So please follow us on all the favorite places you find your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon. And you can go to DeniseDiGregoli.com and sign up for my biweekly brew, where we bring you specialized content, a couple little extra ideas, tips, and trends. That's DeniseDiGregoli. I'm so thankful for you. I'm thankful for you listening, taking the time, sharing, liking, subscribing, giving me your feedback. Peace out, my friends. Mav's got to get back to work. Good morning, my friends. Live from Sheffield, Mass. This week's art project. Just getting back into this, very rusty, but I'm feeling like it's starting to come into some self-expression. I'm a big upcycler. I don't like things to hit the ocean or the landfill. And most of my pieces have some kind of meaning, and they definitely always have some pieces of jewelry that have been in my past or that are broken that I find that I don't want to hit the landfill like a paperclip. This one is the growth and life of a life well lived. You know, we always have constraints. We step into the world with all kinds of netting, ideas, perceptions. I can't say my heart was bulletproof, but then there's only certain people with the key to it. I can definitely say it vibrates loudly. It starts off a little messy, but that's kind of, from manure and seeds come big, beautiful flowers. Message received. Bet on yourself. 6/2, that's my birthday. Chance favors the prepared mind. And the legacies we come into the world with, our heritage, what makes us good, bad, and indifferent, it can be messy. It can be glorious and beautiful. As long as we learn from it. Kind of left home, lightly packed, with a couple of cents and a New York subway token, a good amount of coffee. And even though you could get netted up and messy spots are there, the choice to fly is always there. And every day starts with a fresh canvas. I might wear my emotions on my sleeves, but I have a strong belief that everything will be okay. I'm in the studio packing up and I thought, wow, wasn't that a great interview and show? Thanks, my friend, for staying till the end and listening and sharing and subscribing with those you care for. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon, and more. Wherever you listen to your favorite pods, you'll find Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you sharing and liking and all that good stuff. Peace out, my friends, until the next time. I'm in the studio packing up and I thought, wow, wasn't that a great interview and show? Thanks, my friend, for staying till the end and listening and sharing and subscribing with those you care for. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon, and more. Wherever you listen to your favorite pods, you'll find Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you sharing and liking and all that good stuff. Peace out, my friends, until the next time.